Hello and welcome to iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. This is an XCOM 2 mod spotlight. Today we're going to talk about XCOM 2's difficulty and 3 different mods that you can use to take that difficulty to the next level. If you're new to the XCOM franchise, I'll fill you in on a little secret. This game series doesn't care if you lose. In fact, it wants you to lose. XCOM is a game about making decisions and feeling the consequences of those decisions immediately and later down the line. You'll feel those consequences whether you're playing the game on the easiest difficulty setting or the hardest. The only difference is how ball-crushing those consequences are. While we're on the subject of crushing testicles, actually, we're not going to use that metaphor anymore. Either way, punishing poor decisions is something that XCOM does extremely well, better than many other games.
Menace 1-5. Coordinates of the advent train are locked in. Move to secure.
The base game puts enemies in small groups called pods. Generally speaking, it's best to engage one pod at a time so your soldiers don't get overwhelmed. But sometimes you'll wander one tile too deep into the fog of war and trigger more groups of enemies. This tiptoe lurking in the shadows picking off one patrol at a time style of gameplay is fun and challenging in its own right. It fits well with what XCOM 2 is trying to do from a lore perspective, but after beating the game a few times over, it might be fun to change things up. The All Pods Active modification, in addition to adding more realism to your missions, takes the mechanic that was originally designed to punish you for being too aggressive or careless and turns it into a regular occurrence. It's not very fancy. When you engage with a group of enemies on the map, a pod, every other pod on the map becomes active and starts racing towards your soldiers. This adds an insane amount of difficulty. Dare I say, it crushes those sensitive things dangling between your legs. Okay, that was the last nut joke, but seriously, with all pods active installed, gone are the days of creeping in the shadows. When you pick a fight with one pod of Advent, they call up the rest of their boys and let them know where the party's going on. The best tip I can give for playing with all pods active, Overwatch is your best friend. In the base game, I found myself mostly using Overwatch for an initial ambush or to get the jump on reinforcements, but when there's a good chance of troopers and mutant rushing onto the battlefield from halfway across the universe, having someone with a watchful eye is a good thing. Also, explosives are always valuable, but there are times when holding onto your grenades for an extra turn might be worthwhile. Try and get as many enemies caught in a single grenade as possible. Now on to the next mod. Have you ever thought to yourself, there aren't enough Advent troops on the map? If you have, first of all, you're kind of crazy, but more important than that, there's a mod out there for you. Increased enemy squad size, or IESS, increases the number of enemies that appear in pods. In the early stages of the game, this mod is pretty manageable. Fighting off a group of 4 Advent troopers isn't too difficult, albeit somewhat annoying. When you start to run into packs of 4 Codex or 3 Mutant and a Berserker or some other asinine combination of troops, you'll start wondering why you installed this mod in the first place. The cool thing about this mod is that you can counteract the increased enemy squad size with an increase to your own squad size. IESS pairs very well with the War Toolbox, which allows you to increase your default squad size, allowing you to further increase your squad size with your Guerrilla Training School. I've found that 6 is a good number to start with, and I've been having an extremely challenging but rewarding experience going into every mission with a 7-man squad. The last and most subtle of these 3 mods is Improved AI. If you've played through the game a few times, the majority of the units you encounter are predictable. Even with the Improved AI mod, there's still predictability to enemies, but their decisions are noticeably smarter. For this one, I'll read something straight from the creator's post on the Steam Workshop, because it does a good job of summing up how this mod feels. The AI felt like it was pulling its punches. I told it to stop pulling its punches, but no kicking below the belt. I have morals, honest. I didn't change any of the gear any AI unit has, so if some unit is using an ability that you haven't seen before, it's just working properly now. The changes made by this mod are exciting, and it's incredibly fun to watch Advent and the aliens react in more intelligent ways, though I will argue that sometimes they do kick below the belt. But in any case, there you go. Difficulty is pivotal to the XCOM experience, and if you're feeling like you want to make the game more difficult, thus changing and possibly enhancing that experience, all pods active, increased enemy squad size, and improved AI are 3 mods worth looking into. Alright, so the name of the game is XCOM 2, the name of the channel is iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.